Paintball nerd.
All right, today's guest on Paintball Nerds Fun 5 has been playing paintball for 15 years. She started her career in 2007. In 2016, she got Best Move of the Tournament, first female to ever get that. In 2018, she won the International World Championship for the USA women's team. In 2019, she joined Sydney Syndicate. And in 2022, she joined the world famous organization Destiny. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Jessi Maiolo.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Congratulations on your second place at World Cup. That was awesome.
Thanks. I was really hoping for first, but
Hey, that's show business, right?
Yeah, it happens. Next time.
You played well.
I didn't play as much as I wanted to. I definitely will say I did really well in practice. But coach has a plan. We put it in. We just put it to work, and it got us a consistent second place win again. But
how many is that for you guys?
3. Is there I missed one of the events. Is it 3 or 4? There were 3 events, 4 events, 3. I think it was 3.
At least you're consistent.
Definitely. Consistency is key.
So, you're chasing that first place, but as long as you continuously make the finals, that's something to be said for sure.
Oh, 100%. Not everyone can say that. So
exactly. So Jessi, you got quite a few accolades here. Best move of the tournament, first female to get that. You've won a world championship for the USA women's team. Do you have a favorite memory in paintball?
I have a ton of memories. But I do have to say playing in Panama with Team USA, like OG 2018, and winning that. I think that was the last time the women actually won as well. It was a very hot event, but getting to play alongside some OG people, Katie Kelly, Kat Sakura, B Paxton, it was actually really cool. Because I was still getting back into it later on after college and everything. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that win? What went through your
awesome.
mind doing that?
It was really epic. And we partied pretty hard. That's Panama's was such a fun place. We all had fun. All the girls were great. Even, all the other girls we played to, they were fantastic. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. You mentioned some names there that had been famous in paintball for a long time. Even since back when I was playing pro, those names that you mentioned were big names. Do you have a favorite player?
I have to say, now that I've even gotten to be fortunate enough to play next to her for those last few years, B Paxton, the young Paxton, with Destiny, I've actually been really excited to be able to play with her. She's always talking. She's a great communicator. She whooped my ass in a 1v1. She blew me apart when I was undefeated. And then,
oh no,
great. Her vocals are great on the field. You can always hear her singing in the back, so it's great. I love playing next to B.
That's a good way to put it, singing in the back, because it does sound like she's singing.
She always sings her calls, D3.
Yes.
And then we're all just in the corner screaming at our lines.
No, you can hear her from a long ways off. That's an interesting point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, B's a great one. And she comes from a legendary paintball family.
Yeah, and being as a female that you can at least relate to, and just like Katie Kelly and Kat Sakura, they're both amazing as well. Because those were back when I started, there were not a lot of female players. Those are the only ones that I knew about, because for the longest time, and still in some cases, I'm one of the only females. Not so much now, but if I go to Australia, I'm the only female with Super 7s that I know of, there. But now it's more predominant. But getting to play along next to them with those OG names has been really awesome.
Yeah. And it seems like women's paintball is really starting to get really popular, and it hasn't always been that way.
Girls now, it's crazy. It just feels like it was just yesterday. I was at my local field, 2007, and I was always the only girl, and finally I saw a girl, and I remember her name was Blake. So I don't know if she even still plays. I don't know her last name. She had dark brown hair. Blake, if you're watching this, like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but we all played ACTS together. So hey. You
What
don't
is
know.
it? So what does it feel like at a tournament? Like, because I feel like it looks like to me, like everyone has their attention on the girls' team. Like everyone's going to get autographs and everything. So is it like, what does that feel like when you guys roll up on the scene and like everyone's looking at you?
It's kind of weird. I don't know. I mean, it's a male dominated sport. So, I mean, I'm sure there's like mixed feelings about it because some of it's just like, oh, these guys are just like, you're at a tournament with 800 other, dudes. And then you have a group of 10 girls walking. Come on. Like,
yeah.
But of course, everyone's going to like, I think it's great that as long as it's brought in like a healthy way to the sport to show that other females can play. I think it's great. Because now you can go to a field and there's more than just one girl. You're more than just the only girl there, thank God. So at least you have someone to relate to, someone to share a porta potty with, because that was always the worst part of paintball events in like the 2000s, like for me anyway. You get to an event and, there's a bunch of dudes and you just porta potty.
I think
now they at least have a mark that's for females, and then so that's nice.
Yeah,
they're more designated.
Yeah, because the porta potty situation is gross.
God almighty, horrible.
But Bees had a huge impact on the sport, bringing a bunch of girls into it, and Kat Secor and Tammy Adamson. Like these females in paintball are really like making it happen.
Yeah, and a huge shout out to Destiny, because I didn't even know how much work Destiny was doing until I was brought on. And now you see like there are Destiny teams all over the world. And so
all over.
It's constantly helping the sport for females, like getting the younger generations involved and stuff. And that's really great. It's really great to see.
Yeah.
In a healthy way as well. So
yeah, absolutely. It's because, it didn't always start off that way. It wasn't always like you mentioned, it wasn't like necessarily a healthy way. It was kind of like more like a sex symbol type way.
Right? Yeah. And like, that's great if you want to get noticed, but that's not great for someone's 12-year-old daughter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Different ways, but as long as we can get more girls that are interested in, for the sport and, the actual like thrill of it, the better. And I think we're going in the right direction so far.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
So Jessi, do you, over the past 15 years you've been playing, do you have like a special item of yours that you can't step on the field without, or like a favorite piece of gear?
Ooh, yeah. So I'm kind of a superstitious person now, and it's not just limited to like one thing. Since one particular event in Europe where a lot of people came off the field with broken bones, including myself, knee pads and elbow pads are a must.
What'd you break? What happened?
My elbow. It was NXL Europe. It was Basildon in London, or Essex, I guess. Yeah, I remember coming off. We were about to go on one of the fields, and there's a guy getting carried off, and his whole I guess like this would be his foot, was just like this, and I was just like, oh God, and I ended up breaking my elbow, so had to play on it. It was probably the worst pain. Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Diving, and that was like with pads.
Was it hard ground or like mushy ground?
Yeah, so in London at the time, a lot of anyone that went to this event will tell you there were so many broken bones and injuries. My own teammate, my friend Blue, Stephen Wright, he was my one on the snake side, and I was his sub, and he dove in the ground because they were going through a drought, was so jaggedy. He cut through his knee pad, and he ended up having to get 10 stitches.
Wow.
Yeah, like it was just sharp, sharp concrete.
Dang.
So, yeah, it was brutal.
People coming off the field
I've got photos
in stretchers.
Yeah. So it was pretty brutal, but it was a lot of fun. I mean,
So sorry. Favorite piece of equipment. That's where you were going.
So
Before
paddings, definitely my padding, like HydroFit pads. They are a must, like 100%. Arm pads, knee pads. Like I said, I'm very superstitious. I have to have my headgear. If I don't have my headgear, I will flip out. I have a particular sports bra and shorts and socks that I wear on certain days of playing. So I have to have those, or I can't. It's weird. And for breakfast, like my favorite food is waffles. I have to have waffles before I play. So it's like my favorite items.
What kind of headgear do you?
I have a bandana. I have a few bandanas. The purple stripe. It's just my go-to. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. I feel out of place if I don't have it. So if I don't have anything. Luckily, I can usually, I've had to borrow some in the past, but as long as I have some sort of headgear, you know, I can play.
So Jessi, what does it take to be a world champion, a female world champion? Like, what does it take to get to your level?
Definitely takes some ambition. Takes some perseverance, takes some discipline. Heavy on the discipline. You can't just go and do your day-to-day life. If you like to go to McDonald's 17 times a day and you hate working out, playing pro paintball is probably not your thing unless you're really good at staying alive and laning off the brake and not moving. Cool. Like if you can do it, awesome. But like, yeah, you definitely have to put in hard work off the field to be able to maneuver on the field. On top of that, you definitely need to, I wouldn't say over practice because I'm not the person to ask about drilling at all or practicing. So I don't want to ever overdo it. I know my limitations. If I over practice, I will be shit at an event. That's just how it is. And I've told people that, they know how I am. Definitely need to practice a little bit. Don't push yourself to the point of like exhaustion and just overdoing it. So that way you get in your head. That's just not great. And definitely have fun. You need to have fun and realize what you're doing, why you're doing it, the purpose. It's always going to be there. Just don't overdo yourself.
Yeah, it's funny. I interviewed Alex Frazier recently, and he said something very similar.
Okay.
That one of the things that he admires is players that don't take the game too seriously, that have fun with it because it's supposed to be fun. Like it's a fun game.
Will say, and I get a lot of shit from it. I know Marcel. he's gotten on me about it because I'm just like, I overdid it for myself at one point. You know, I was drilling, practicing 2-3 times a week, and I'm just like, I'm tired, and it's just I'm not having fun right now. Like I need to take a break. I need to step aside, and have fun. And once I stopped caring, I started playing better. I know that sounds, do not go take my advice, but if you have fun and get your mind right, because it's like, I guess a similar analogy is like weight loss and like nutrition. It's 80% of your weight loss is nutrition, 20% is working out. Same with paintball. I feel like 80% is mental and 20% is drilling. You know what I mean? So it's
totally.
I'm sure everyone's different, but that's how it is with me anyway.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. Everyone's different, but I think there's definitely something to having fun with the game because it is a game.
Oh, absolutely.
Paintball is a game.
If you take it too seriously, you're not going to have fun, and then you're just going to get worked up. You see people in the pitch just going off, throwing masks, throwing guns, yelling, shouting. We don't do that. Like,
and you can certainly develop skill sets that matter. You know, like snap shooting and running and gunning. And these certain drills that will sharpen your skills.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if you're not having fun doing it, you're probably not going to be playing very well.
Right. Exactly. That can ruin your whole tournament.
Yeah. So Jessi, you've got a lot of amazing experiences here. What would you say that you're most thankful for that paintball has brought you in life?
Traveling and meeting people. I've met so many people. And it's nice to have a group of people that you can just like relate to and have the same interests. Because honestly, it's hard for me to make friends with people outside of paintball because they don't enjoy the same things that I do.
Yep.
And so having that group of people that understand you and they're there for you and having like a little mini family away from family per se has been really good. And the traveling, like I said, I've gone all over the world for it, and that's been awesome.
Where have you gone?
Ooh, I've been all over Europe for the NXL Europe events, Panama, Singapore, Australia. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's amazing. Filled up your passport from paintball.
I did, my passport, I lost it. It was completely stamped.
Oh, no.
So I'm hoping one day that turns up. Probably not, though. I had to get a new one last year.
Awesome. Well, Jessi, thank you so much for your time here today. Is there anything that you'd like to part with for the paintball community?
Just have fun. Go out there. Don't let anybody doubt you. Ask your friends to join you. Get more people interested in the sport. Help it grow, and just have fun. Go out there and have fun.
Awesome. Thanks, Jessi.
Thank you.